Surprise, the iPhone 14 launched with settings that drain your battery and invade your privacy.
You'd never expect that one of its most hyped up features actually does more harm than good.
But it's not all bad. Let's start with a new setting that could save your life.
Open Settings, scroll down and tap Emergency SOS. Make sure the switch next to Call After Severe Crash is on.
Crash detection is a new iPhone 14 feature that uses a slew of different sensors to detect when you're in a car crash.
And when the switch is on, your iPhone will automatically call emergency services.
And if you're in a severe crash, picking up your iPhone to call 911 might not be a possibility, so definitely leave this on.
As an aside, if you can't reach your phone when you're in an emergency, you could say, hey, SIRI, call emergency services.
This next feature is new too. It's not going to save your life, but it's a huge battery drainer.
Let's tap back to Settings, upper left-hand corner of the screen, scroll up and tap Display and Brightness, then scroll down to Always On. Always On display is new to the iPhone 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max.
We're glad that Apple finally brought this to the iPhone 14 years after Nokia did in 2008, but its execution leaves a bit to be desired.
Always On display is really bright, and when it's on all the time, it's going to drain battery life. I've just turned it off on my iPhone.
I leave it on because I like it a lot, but there is definitely room for improvement. We turn this next setting off, and you should too, unless you want to annoy everybody else in Starbucks.
Actually, I think this is more about your privacy online. Let's tap back to the main page of settings, scroll up and tap Wi-Fi, and then scroll all the way down to Auto Join Hotspot. Oh, we've got more networks popping up. Auto Join Hotspot, then tap Never.
You don't want your iPhone randomly joining personal hotspots. You never know who's on the other end.
Next, we need to talk about why 5G is still overhyped. Let's tap back to the main page of settings, tap Cellular Data Options, tap Voice and Data, and choose either 5G Auto or LTE.
Carriers don't like to admit this, but 5G drains your battery fast, because when there isn't a good 5G signal, your iPhone has to put out more power to stay connected to it, and at this point, most of the country still doesn't have good 5G.
Tap back in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, then tap on data mode. We recommend choosing standard. Low data mode is like low power mode for cellular. We don't recommend choosing that because it kills too many features.
So don't use it unless you're in a cellular data emergency. Otherwise, standard is fine.
Next, tap back, upper left-hand corner of the screen, back to the main page of Cellular, and take a look at Turn On This Line. This is a feature that can save you hundreds of dollars.
This is awesome for when you travel to other countries. If you wanted to avoid ridiculous overage charges, you used to have to go from the airport to a local store to buy a local SIM card. Now with eSIM, you can set up your international calling plan ahead of time, and Apple has a great list of eSIM-enabled carriers on their website.
Next, we're going to scroll all the way down and turn off the switches next to iCloud Drive and iCloud Backup. Transferring all your documents or backing up your iPhone to iCloud can use all of your cellular data in just a few hours.
Even you unlimited data people have high-speed data caps, so be careful. This next setting is one that David and I cannot agree on.
Let's tap back to the main page of settings, tap on Sounds and Haptics, then tap on Headphone Safety at the top of the screen. If you want your iPhone to automatically lower loud sounds while you're wearing headphones, turn on this switch next to Reduce Loud Sounds. I think it's a great feature for kids, but I leave it off because I'm an adult.
And I'll leave it on because I'm an adult.
But you may want to consider turning it on if next to headphone notifications you see a large number here next to last 6 months.
Can we agree that the hearing control and control center is cool?
Yes, and if you're really concerned about loud sounds on your iPhone, definitely add that control to Control Center.
I like it when we agree, but the party's over with this next setting. We can't seem to agree on much today, can we?
Sure doesn't seem like it.
Let us know whose side you're on in the comments section below.
Tap back upper left-hand corner of the screen, scroll down and tap Keyboard Feedback. I really love haptic keyboard feedback. This was introduced with iOS 16 and I turned it on right away. It gives you a physical response when you type on the iPhone keyboard.
However, Apple recently admitted that it drains your battery.
This is one of those times where I'm happy to sacrifice a little bit of battery life in order to get a better hands-on experience.
I turned it on, and let's just say I was impressed by how impressed you are by it. It's a no for me.
It's definitely a no for me, dog.
When I used to work at the Apple Store, I used to tell people that iPhones can't get viruses. That isn't exactly true nowadays.
Let's tap back, upper left-hand corner of the screen, back to the main page of settings, scroll down and tap General, then tap Software Update, then tap Automatic Updates, and make sure the switch next to Security Responses and System Files is on.
This was added with iOS 16, and you should leave it on. Without the latest rapid security responses, your iPhone can get hacked. That's bad.
We've got another tip here in the general section of settings. Tap back, upper left-hand corner of the screen, back to general, then tap on background app refresh and tap background app refresh at the top of the screen. We recommend choosing Wi-Fi.
This way your iPhone won't use cellular data in the background of your iPhone, aka when you're not using it.
Next, tap back, upper left-hand corner of the screen, and go through your list of apps and ask yourself which ones you want to be able to download new content on your iPhone.
When apps use background app refresh, they also use your battery, so only choose the ones you feel are essential. Let's head to the accessibility section of settings next. There are 2 awesome new iOS 16 tips in here.
Let's tap back, upper left-hand corner of the screen, back to the main page of settings. Scroll down and tap accessibility, then tap display and text size and scroll down to reduce white point and auto brightness.
Reduce white point basically recalibrates the brightness slider on your iPhone, allowing you to make it darker than you can by default.
Yep, the iPhone 14 display is super bright. I found myself turning on reduce white point and cranking it up to like 75%. But we're gonna leave reduce white point off for this video. Another setting we have off for this video, but that you should turn on is auto brightness. Apple recommends leaving that on to save battery life. Next, tap back, upper left-hand corner of the screen and tap motion. Turning on reduce motion will cut down on some of the on-screen animations on your iPhone, which can save a little bit of battery life.
This is one that I leave off because I like the animations, and it doesn't really make that big of a difference with your battery.
In motion, you could also turn on limit frame rate to save a little bit of battery life, but then you lose the 120 hertz refresh rates on the 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max, which make the display just look really awesome. Next, tap back, upper left-hand corner of the screen, then tap on touch, and scroll down to the prevent lock to end call switch. We recommend turning that one on.
This is new to iOS 16, and it will stop you from hanging up on phone calls if you accidentally press the lock button.
I instinctively lock my iPhone and turning on my car and just hang up on the person.
There's an exception with speakerphone though. If you press the power button when you're on speaker, it doesn't hang up the call, it just turns off the screen.
Let's talk about that other new iOS 16 setting. Tap back to accessibility, upper left-hand corner of the screen, scroll down and tap Siri, and then take a look at Siri pause time.
Sometimes I'm texting someone and I pause to think of what to say, but then Siri cuts me off. So I love this feature and I choose longer. Gives me time to finish my thought.
Next, we're going to the battery section of settings. Tap back, upper left-hand corner of the screen, back to the main page of settings, then tap battery. New switch here in iOS 16, battery percentage. With iOS 16.1, Apple made it so that every Face ID iPhone would see this battery percentage indicator. Turn that on. And with iOS 16.1, Apple updated the battery percentage graphic so it actually corresponds to how much battery life your iPhone has left. Next, let's tap on battery health and charging and take a look at this new clean energy charging switch.
Apple claims this will reduce your carbon footprint when you charge your iPhone. How does it work? We don't know because the support article still doesn't exist.
Apple's product environment report is just as useless. It says, with clean energy charging introduced in fall 2022, iPhone can optimize charging for when the electricity is cleanest. Nothing more than that. We're gonna leave it on for now, but we reserve the right to change our minds later. One above clean energy charging is optimized battery charging. We've recommended turning this on in the past, but our position has evolved.
The settings you need to leave on for optimized battery charging to work actually use more battery than optimized battery charging saves you. We'll get to those settings in a little bit, but first,
turn off optimized battery charging, then tap back to the main page of settings and tap App Store. The first thing we're going to look at underneath automatic downloads is app downloads.
When this setting is on, every app you download automatically gets downloaded on your other devices. It is super annoying if you have an iPad.
Let's turn that switch off, then scroll down and turn off the switch next to automatic downloads under cellular data.
Games like PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds are already big, but as soon as you start to play them, then they have to download a whole bunch of new data.
It's a cool feature because you can play your game faster, but it uses a lot of cellular data and battery life. Next, let's tap on Video Autoplay and choose Wi-Fi only.
Autoplaying app preview videos uses cellular data and battery, period.
Next, we're going to tap back, upper left-hand corner of the screen, scroll down to in-app ratings and reviews and turn that switch off. It helps cut down on apps asking you for 5-star reviews even when you've just opened them for the first time.
Developers are getting more creative though.
Yeah, I have a radio app I use to listen to Yankees games, and sometimes it'll say, are you enjoying the TuneIn app? And if I select no, it sends me to their website to give them feedback.
I wonder if that's against Apple's terms of service, because it seems like they're breaking the rules.
Next, let's tap back to the main page of settings, scroll down and tap passwords. I'm going to use Face ID to get in here. and then tap password options and choose where you want to allow autofilling passwords from.
Do you use the third-party password manager?
No, I just use iCloud Keychain.
Me too.
I don't see the point in paying $5 a month for a third-party password manager.
Well, it's so that you can have your passwords on your PC and other devices.
Just buy all Apple products. Problem solved.
And they call us fanboys.
Next up, we're going to talk about one of the biggest battery drainers. Let's tap back to the main page of settings, scroll down and tap Mail, then tap Accounts, and then tap Fetch New Data.
Like a nosy neighbor, push means that your iPhone never stops watching your email server for new messages. With Fetch, you decide how often your iPhone checks to see if there's new mail, and that saves a lot of battery life.
So let's turn off the switch next to Push at the top of the screen. Then under Fetch, choose your fetch interval. I like to choose every 30 minutes.
When you open the Mail app, it checks for new mail right away, so you won't see a difference at all.
Let's tap back to the main Mail page in Settings, scroll down, and tap Blocked Sender Options. Do you want people you've blocked to show up in your inbox?
No, I blocked them.
Yep, so let's just tap Move to Trash. Next, let's talk about a new iOS 16 feature that keeps your notes more secure. Tap back to the main page of Settings, tap Notes, then tap Password and choose iCloud or on my iPhone.
I'm an iCloud guy because I want the notes that I take on my iPhone to show up on my Mac and my iPad. And I want the notes I take on my Mac to show up on my iPhone and iPad. And I want the notes I take on my iPad to show up.
I think they get it.
Oh, okay.
Let's tap iCloud and then turn on the switch next to Use Face ID.
You don't like spam phone calls, and neither do I. Let's talk about another new iOS 16 feature.
Yep, let's tap back to the main page of settings, scroll down and tap Phone, then scroll down to Call Blocking and Identification. We've got this new Business ID switch in iOS 16.1.
We recommend turning on this switch and silence junk callers. They'll help you distinguish between spam calls and the calls that you actually want to receive.
If you don't see Business ID or if you see something different, it's because these features vary from carrier to carrier.
Silence junk callers here should not be confused with silence unknown callers in the main section of the phone app, because you should leave silence unknown callers off if you're expecting a call from anyone who's not in your contacts, like a doctor's office.
Next, tap back upper left-hand corner of the screen and scroll up to Wi-Fi calling. Tap on that and turn on Wi-Fi calling.
If you don't see this option, it's because either your carrier doesn't offer Wi-Fi calling, or you need to go on their website and turn on a switch to enable it for your account.
Prefer Wi-Fi while roaming is an interesting feature if you have a cell phone plan that still includes roaming, or if you're traveling overseas and you want to avoid those crazy high overage charges.
Emergency address here is important to understand. This address only gets sent to emergency services if your iPhone doesn't have any GPS connection. So consider setting this address to your cabin in the woods, for instance, if you don't have any cellular service or GPS when you're there.
And if you're using Wi-Fi calling, why not turn on this switch next to add Wi-Fi calling for other devices too?
But I'm not done yet.
Tap back to Phone, upper left-hand corner of the screen, then tap on Calls on Other Devices.
Allow calls on other devices when they're nearby and on Wi-Fi? Yeah.
Turn that switch on and then choose which devices you want to be able to take phone calls on. I don't know about you, I hate making phone calls. I'd rather just text. Let's head back to the main page of settings, tap on Messages, scroll down and tap Text Message Forwarding.
This is like the little brother of calls on other devices. It allows you to send and receive text on your other Apple devices.
Tap back upper left-hand corner of the screen, then scroll down and turn on the switch next to Filter Unknown Senders. This separates messages from your contacts and unknown numbers in the Messages app, helping you stay focused on the messages you actually want to receive. And if you don't want people to know when you're ghosting them, you can scroll up and turn off the switch next to Send Read Receipts. Read Receipts are great for your petty transactional friendships. They took 37 minutes to send you a text message. You're gonna wait exactly 37 minutes to send them a message back.
Fortunately for you, you can turn Read Receipts on or off for individual conversations right in the Messages app.
Let's tap back to the main page of settings, scroll down and tap Safari. The first setting to look at here is Preload Top Hit. We recommend turning that off.
This exists because Apple is so sure you're going to click on the first Google result, they download the page in the background, which uses your battery and cellular data. And if you never look at that, then, what was the point?
What was the point? There was no point.
There's no point.
Next, scroll down and turn on the switch next to Prevent Cross-Site Tracking.
They'll still find a way to track you. And this next setting is one that we think Apple makes confusing on purpose.
It's called Privacy Preserving Ad Measurement. Sounds like something you'd want to leave on to preserve your privacy, but no. we want to turn that switch off.
This setting should just be called ad measurement. When you turn it off, it doesn't mean that your privacy isn't preserved. It just means that there's no ad measurement at all, even the privacy-preserving kind.
And if you want to preserve the privacy of your most personal images, you need to turn on this next setting too. Tap back to the main page of settings, upper left-hand corner of the screen, scroll down and tap Photos, then scroll down to Use Face ID, turn that switch on. Use Face ID requires you to use Face ID to get into your recently deleted and hidden albums.
This is an awesome setting. Not like I have anything to hide.
Yeah, me neither. 2 below Use Face ID is cellular data. Tap on that and turn off the switch next to cellular data at the top of the screen. This restricts updates to Wi-Fi, including shared albums and iCloud photos.
This is especially important for iPhone 14 Pro users because some of the photos that we're taking now are absolutely huge, and they're going to use a lot of your battery and a lot of cellular data to send to iCloud in the background.
Next up, the section of settings that David Payette is most passionate about. Let's tap back to the main page of settings, tap on music, tap audio quality, and make sure the switch next to lossless audio is on at the top of the screen.
Right now, Bluetooth headphones cannot play lossless audio. Even if it says lossless in the music app, the quality of the music you hear is limited by Apple's Bluetooth technology.
But we think lossless audio is right around the corner, and we talked about that in our review of the new AirPods Pro 2.
They were good.
While you're here, take a look at cellular streaming, Wi-Fi streaming, and download. So for cellular streaming, we recommend high quality.
If you're listening on Bluetooth headphones, that's right about where your headphones are going to max out. A lossless song could be 6 times bigger, that's 6 times more data, 6 times more battery life.
Tap back upper left-hand corner of the screen. For Wi-Fi streaming, we recommend lossless or high-res lossless, depending on your hardware.
And for downloads, we recommend lossless. It's better than high quality, but it won't use as much space as high-res lossless.
I know I said that audio quality was the section of settings David is most passionate about, but then I saw this novel he wrote about camera quality, so let's go to the main page of settings, tap on camera, and then tap on formats. Turn off ProRAW and ProRes if you see them, but there is one exception.
On iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max, the only way to take advantage of the new 48 megapixel Pro camera system is to take RAW photos.
It doesn't do any compression to make the file smaller, which saves a lot of processing power. ProRAW is amazingly detailed and awesome, but you should use it sparingly.
The photos that you take can be up to 20 times bigger than the regular photos you take with the camera. Enough said.
Like ProRAW for photos, ProRes is for video, and it's just not necessary on iPhone.
I don't care how big the file gets. ProRAW on an iPhone is not the same as ProRAW on, for instance, the Sony a7S III, which we're using right now.
All these files do is take up a ton of storage space on your iPhone and make you pay more for iCloud storage. Next, we're going to tap back upper left-hand corner of the screen and tap on Preserve Settings. First, make sure the switch next to camera mode is on.
Now, if you record a video and close the camera app, when you reopen it, it'll still be on video mode, not photo, which is the default.
Then scroll all the way down and turn on the switch next to live photo. We get a ton of comments from people asking us, how do we turn off live photos for good? This is how.
And it's especially important for my best friend Dan, who keeps sending me live photos of his plants. Live photos are little video files. If you are taking a picture of something like a beautiful baby and the baby's running, take a live photo. But if you're taking a picture of a piece of paper, don't take a live photo.
After turning on the switch next to live photo, go to the camera app and turn off this live photo button. You'll see now it's on, now it's off. Now, anytime you open the camera app, live photo is off. It'll never turn on again unless you do it manually. Let's head back to the settings app, tap back to the main page of settings, scroll up and tap on privacy and security. Here you're gonna see a bunch of apps and features on your iPhone.
Which apps do you want to have access to your contacts?
Let's tap on contacts, and as you can see, it's a lot of social media apps. When you download a social media app for the first time, it'll often ask you, can we have your contacts so we can connect you with all your friends? And that's fine when you initially sign up, but do they need access to your contacts in perpetuity?
Well, somebody's been using their word-a-day calendar.
Perpetual. I'm gonna turn off all of these switches. Let's tap back, and as you can see, we've got photos, we've got camera, we've got a whole bunch of stuff here. We really should go one by one and be really selective about what apps can access what on your iPhone.
Next, tap on research, sensor, and usage data and turn off that switch.
Turn that switch right off. We don't want to be collecting this data and sending it away. Just shut it down. Tap back upper left-hand corner of the screen, scroll down and tap on Analytics and Improvements. By default, a whole bunch of switches are on here. We recommend turning all of them off. Quickest way to do that, tap that switch at the top of the screen, turns most of them off. Apple can improve their own darn products. Next, we're going to tap back upper left-hand corner of the screen. One below Analytics and Improvements is Apple Advertising Personalized Ads. Turn that switch off.
A lot of people say that turning this switch off means you're going to see low quality ads, but that is not the case. Apple doesn't let low quality advertisers into their ad network. The truth is, though, you may see fewer ads because you become a less valuable target to advertisers.
Let's tap back upper left-hand corner of the screen, scroll all the way up and tap on Location Services.
Location services are some of the biggest iPhone battery drainers. GPS uses more battery than almost anything else, and the more precisely your iPhone identifies where you are, the more battery it uses.
You'll save a ton of battery life by optimizing this section of settings. Let's start with Share My Location.
If you have family sharing and you're sharing your location all the time, that's going to drain your battery. So if you can, turn off Share My Location for some family members.
If you see one of those family members, tap on their name and tap Stop Sharing My Location. Let's tap back upper left-hand corner of the screen and take a look at your list of apps. This is when your apps can access your location. The big word to look out for is the word always. So SethQ always has access to my location. It's my bank. They have an explanation here. Application uses location services when trying to find the closest branch or ATM.
All the time?
All the time.
Always looking.
Always looking, even when the app is not open. So while using the app or ask next time or when I share, probably a safe bet for most people. Precise location, pretty much no app needs your precise location unless it's a Maps app, and if the more precise the location is, the more battery it's going to drain. Tap back upper left-hand corner of the screen, scroll down and tap on System Services. We're going to recommend turning off most of these switches.
Turn off everything except compass calibration, which is useful to see which direction you're going in a Maps app. Emergency calls and SOS, Find My iPhone, motion calibration and distance, networking and wireless. A lot of people say you need to leave this on for the U1 chip to work, which is what lets you find your AirPods under a couch cushion if you lose them. But we tried it, still works. And leave on Share My Location.
At the bottom of the list of system services is significant locations. Tap on that. If you've had this feature on for a while, you'll see a list of the places you've been recently. Really weird, really creepy, and it drains battery life. Significant locations is one of those optimized battery charging settings, but we'd rather just turn this off, save the battery life here instead of using optimized battery charging. Tap back upper left-hand corner of the screen. Remember how we turned off iPhone Analytics a couple minutes ago?
Yeah.
Well, we got to turn it off again here under Product Improvement. Also turn off Routing and Traffic. If the native Maps app from Apple is installed on your iPhone, you'll also see an Improve Map switch. Go ahead and turn that off as well. And we're also going to turn on the status bar icon.
When the status bar switch is off, you'll still see the little location indicator arrow thing when apps use your location. But what this does is now you'll see it for everything in the system services list.
And now that your iPhone 14 Pro is finally optimized, we recommend setting up a really cool lock screen. Check out our other video, an entire lock screen customization guide that's showing up on the screen now.